Welcome to the Making Moves podcast, where we talk relocating and real estate in the Dominican Republic. If you're looking to move to the Dominican Republic, this podcast is for you. If you're looking to make moves in real estate in the Dominican Republic, this podcast is for you. I'm your host, Josie Sells DR, and I am so excited to be here today, so excited to kick off the very first episode of this podcast. I think if you would have told me, even 5 years ago that I would be living in the Dominican Republic, I would have my literal dream job and I would be filming this podcast here, I would have thought you were crazy, but here we are and I am so happy to be here. My goal for this podcast is to provide just as much value as possible when it comes to, moving and relocating here, and also just talking about all the opportunities that exist in real estate here on the island. So this first episode, I kind of just want to introduce myself, give a little bit of background about my story, and then moving forward, every episode I'm going to have, different co-hosts on with me where we'll be talking about, the school system here, real estate here. I'll be featuring local businesses just so you can get an idea of what life here is like. So to kind of give a little bit of background about me and how I ended up here, flashback to 2020, it's the middle of COVID and you couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't see anyone, you couldn't do anything. We were stuck at home, and I'm from Canada originally, so it was like negative 30 degrees outside, and it was just not a good time. And I kind of hit this point where I was like, okay, if my environment is no longer serving me, it's no longer adding value to my life, if the people around me, they're no longer serving me, they're no longer adding value to my life, then why would I live in a place that is just no longer, helping me progress in life? And so me and my husband decided that we were just gonna peace out, we were gonna leave. And we didn't know where we were going to go. We didn't really have a plan, but we knew that some sort of announcement was coming soon, and our prime minister was going to be, making some sort of travel ban announcement. And so we're like, all right, let's get out of here. So within 72 hours, we packed up, I think maybe 6 or 7 suitcases, and we booked a flight to Puerto Rico because my husband had a friend there, and we're like, this can just be like our starting point. We'll start here and then we'll kind of figure out where we want to go next. We knew that we wanted to go somewhere for like at least a couple years and just kind of experience a different way of life, and so we went to Puerto Rico and we ended up staying there for about a month. And then we're like, okay, Puerto Rico's cool, but it's a US colony, like it's really hard to actually live there a long time. And we wanted to be somewhere that was just very livable. And so we started looking at other islands. We looked at, Costa Rica, but everything in Costa Rica wants to kill you. Like there's all these crazy creatures there. And my husband is like deadly afraid of spiders. So it wasn't gonna be Costa Rica. We looked at Mexico, but there was a few downfalls to Mexico with like the government. And when you purchase property in Mexico, you're not actually getting the property in your name, and crime rates are a little bit higher. We looked at Hawaii, but it's just so like off the charts expensive there. And then we started looking at the DR, and it kind of just checked all the boxes for us. I mean, you can live here without any sort of residency or visa process. You can, it has a stable government, it has a strong economy, it's eternal summer here, it's hot year round, and you can surf here year round. There was just so many things that were kind of checking the boxes for us. But the main thing was that it was just so much more affordable than all these other Caribbean islands and, coastal states in America. And so when I looked and saw that, you could get a 3-bedroom villa for $300,000 where you're within walking distance to the beach and you have a private pool, it kind of confirmed for me, like, okay, this is where we're gonna be for the foreseeable future. I think, what it comes down to is if you're in a place where it's more affordable and your dollar can go further, you then have, more money to experience things. And I think experiences are what make life amazing and beautiful. So we decided to come here, and it's kind of a common story for people here. They come here and then they just don't leave. You'll hear a lot of people tell that same story. So we came here And 2 years later, we're still here, and we are so happy that we decided to come here. For the first few months, there was definitely a lot of navigating. We didn't know a single person here. We didn't know where to live, where to shop, where to eat, what areas to avoid, what areas to, gravitate towards. Like, we knew nothing about this island, and we kind of just came here blindly. And another huge reason why I want to do this podcast is for people who are looking to relocate here, just to kind of give them some more guidance, because we had to figure everything out on our own, and it was very uncomfortable. And there was a few times where we're like, man, like, do we really want to be here? Like, we could so easily go back to Canada, because that's our comfort zone, and we know everything there, and we know everyone there. But progress and progression and success never happens in your comfort zone. So we stuck it out and we stayed, and it has been one of the biggest blessings for us in our life. We have, sorry, if you hear moto conchos in the back, that's just part of living in the DR. There's always moto conchos. But yeah, we are so happy we came here. We have two young children. They're 4 and 2, but they were about 9 months and 2 years old when we first got here. So kind of coming here with them has been a whole other experience that I will gladly talk about in a future episode. But this place has truly been a blessing for us, and I'm really, really excited to just share everything that the DR has to offer with you guys when it comes to real estate and it comes to living here. So stay tuned. We have our first actual episode coming up tomorrow, where I'll be interviewing the broker of my company that I now work for, RealtorDR, and we'll be talking about some really, really great stuff tomorrow. So stay tuned, and we will see you in the next episode.